Please, Frank, lock that in. Let's lock that in. Let's get a contract locked in,
Who would
right?
be your preference?
My preference would be Usyk.
Do you think Usyk's potential? Do you think there is a potential for him to fight Usyk?
Usyk will blow the smoke out. Usyk will kill him.
The world owes Joseph Parker.
Yeah,
The whole heavyweight division owes Joseph Parker, so I'll just say that straight away now.
He gets his arm raised and he sails off into the sunset.
I think if this guy wins, he's literally done it all. He'd be.
Would you want Joseph Parker's name on your ledger, though?
I mean,
It's
maybe.
the last one.
Joseph Parker slams Oleksandr Usyk for avoiding the fight. Words that sound more like a threat than a complaint. Parker paints himself as the hunter, daring Usyk to step forward. Yet history shows Usyk never runs. These so-called warnings expose Parker's urgency, while Usyk thrives against the toughest opposition.
And they were making a lot of noise about him. You know, the next up-and-comer in a big heavyweight with a lot of power.
Joseph Parker makes it clear he wants the ultimate test. By calling out Usyk directly, Parker is sending a warning that he's ready to step into the fire. He frames this as his moment to prove he belongs, aiming to break through the so-called unbeatable wall.
Want to fight here one day?
One day I would love the opportunity to fight here. I think it'll be amazing. Everyone that he's fought and everyone that he's beaten, and I want to test myself against that. You know, the best fighter in the world.
Tony Bellew steps in with his assessment of Parker's chances. Tony Bellew admits Parker is dangerous but still tips him to lose. This is the narrative Parker wants to crush. He's tired of being overlooked. His goal is simple: silence the doubters by dragging Usyk into a fight where power, pressure, and hunger can't be ignored.
It'll be interesting to see if that's going to make a difference against Oleksandr Usyk. I do think he's in the fight. I do think it's a dangerous fight, but ultimately I think it's one he'll lose.
Tony Bellew points out Parker's inactivity, but Parker won't let that be an excuse. He knows a world title shot is close, and when opportunity arrives, rust won't matter. Parker's mindset is clear. He wants Usyk now, no delays, and he's ready to walk through fire to get it.
The fighters, Joseph Parker is struggling from inactivity at the moment because he's been so used to fighting back to back to back.
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
not his own fault by any means.
No, it's not a disturbance in the Bacoli fight that he was all going ahead and. You know, Bacoli jumps in, all of the disturbance of the Dubois fight.
Right.
It's just, he's in a rock and a hard place, Joseph Parker, because he knows the shot's coming, but he also wants to stay busy.
Andy Lee then lays out exactly how Parker has been sharpening his style for this challenge. Andy Lee stresses Parker's biggest change: no more breaks, no breathing space. That's a direct warning to Usyk. The relentless pressure won't stop. Parker's camp is banking on a ruthless pace, built to suffocate openings. This isn't admiration, it's a declaration that Parker plans to drown Usyk in volume.
Wants to fight the best of their era. Hamza wants to fight Canelo. Joe wants to fight Usyk. We always want to challenge ourselves as fighters, and we're up for the challenge.
Duke McKenzie cuts straight to the heart of the matter. Boxing is about levels, and Usyk has consistently operated at the very highest. He calls it with clarity: Parker's recent improvements, while commendable, don't yet bridge the gulf between him and Usyk. The Ukrainian is unbeaten for a reason. His ring IQ, adaptability, and discipline have placed him in the elite bracket. McKenzie highlights what makes Usyk special: his ability to execute tactics with machine-like precision and punish mistakes ruthlessly. For Parker, this analysis stings, because it underlines the perception that he's still chasing shadows. Yet, Parker insists otherwise. His warnings, his hunger, his desire to fight Usyk are his attempt to close that narrative gap. But McKenzie's message is firm. Usyk remains the benchmark, the fighter who turns contenders into believers, then breaks them.
I'm not saying that at all. I still don't feel that even that performance is not enough to beat Oleksandr Usyk, because boxing's all about levels. And Usyk isn't the kind of, as I said before, Usyk's not on the slide. He's not, and he would, you know, once you set out your game plan and you get your tactics and ABCD right, as Usyk has done, that's why he's unbeaten and a two division unified 4-belt era champion. That's what separates the good from the great.
McKenzie acknowledges the obvious. Joseph Parker has earned his mandatory position and deserves his chance. The frustration in Parker's voice comes from this very point. He's waited, he's fought his way back, and now he wants his moment against Usyk. But earning the right to fight and earning the right to win are two very different things. The analyst's view is simple. Parker's resume shows resilience and persistence, but it doesn't prove he can topple the master technician in Usyk. That's why Mackenzie's words strike a balance. Parker's time has come, but the mountain ahead is unlike any other he's faced. And while the call for justice is valid, the mandatory deserves his shot, it doesn't erase the reality that Usyk has been dismantling fighters of higher caliber. The mandatory label brings Parker the fight, but not the edge inside it.
I'm not saying that at all. I still don't feel that even that performance is not enough to beat Oleksandr Usyk, because boxing's all about levels. And Usyk isn't the kind of, as I said before, Usyk's not on the slide. He's not, and he would, you know, once you set out your game plan and you get your tactics and ABCD right, as Usyk has done, that's why he's unbeaten and a two division unified 4-belt era champion. That's what separates the good from the great.
Carl Froch then raises the question every fan is asking: does Parker really stand a chance? Carl Froch nails the debate. Parker has done everything required to secure the fight, but has he done enough to convince the boxing world he can actually win it? Froch points out the contradictions. Yes, Parker's recent form is impressive. Yes, he's earned his shot, but his past defeats tell a different story. Losses to opponents far below Usyk's pedigree raise serious doubts. Froch's analysis captures the fan dilemma perfectly. Parker deserves respect. He deserves the opportunity, but does he deserve belief? From an analyst's standpoint, the answer is harsh. Usyk's skill, footwork, and strategic mastery have humbled fighters stronger and faster than Parker. So while Parker's hunger is undeniable, Froch highlights the uncomfortable truth. Hunger alone may not be enough when faced with a champion who operates on a completely different level. This is the difference between competing and conquering.
Did the business. Parker's done everything he needs to do now to warrant a shot at Usyk. But would you even give Joseph Parker a chance at Usyk? It'd be an interesting fight. Quite fast hands, high work rate. But let's not forget who Parker's lost to already. I mean, lost to Dillian Whyte a few years ago, and he's since been beaten a few times by people that really couldn't lace Usyk boots. And I'm not having a go at Joseph Parker. And I do think that if anybody deserves a fight, he does. He deserves the fight, deserves the payday. But is anybody realistically giving Joseph Parker a chance against Oleksandr?
Joseph Parker makes it crystal clear every ounce of his energy and his team's is directed at Oleksandr Usyk. This isn't casual talk. Parker is framing it as an all-or-nothing mission. His camp, his strategy, his mindset, all orbit around one target. For Parker, this is about validation, proving that his grind, his sacrifices, and his comeback have meaning. But while the words sound resolute, analysts see a deeper layer. Focus is essential, but against a fighter like Usyk, focus alone doesn't tilt the scales. Usyk thrives on breaking rhythm, dismantling game plans, and turning pressure into opportunity. Parker's declaration is bold, but it also shows the mental strain he carries. The spotlight is firmly on him, and he knows this may be his one defining shot. Whether this focus translates into execution remains the burning question.
You can't really think about that or worry about that fight until you get this one done and dusted. This is our full focus. Myself, Andy, George, the whole team that's here from New Zealand, America, I got Rob here. Our full focus is on
Spencer Oliver puts it bluntly, the WBO has mandated Usyk versus Parker, and the fight has to happen unless the champion chooses to vacate. On paper, that sounds like Parker's breakthrough, his long wait finally rewarded with a guaranteed shot. Oliver frames it as Usyk's biggest challenge in the immediate future. But this wording feels more like formality than conviction. From an analytical lens, the reality is clear: Parker's position is political, not proven. He has earned the mandatory slot, but that doesn't suddenly transform him into Usyk's equal. Oliver is right to call Parker the deserving challenger, but deserving a fight doesn't mean deserving victory. The gulf remains wide, and while Parker insists on bringing danger, it's Usyk who controls the pace, the tactics, and the levels. Mandatory status gives Parker his chance to shout, but inside the ropes, it's Usyk who silences narratives. For Parker, this fight is less about belts and more about credibility, but Usyk has a history of turning such hopeful stories into brutal reality checks.
You just go, who's going to beat him? You know, who is that guy? I think the guy that deserves a shot next, by the way, is Joseph Parker. He's the guy that's been waiting, and I think the WBO have mandated that fight. So unless Oleksandr Usyk vacates the belt, he will have to fight Joseph Parker next. That'll be an interesting fight. That's probably his biggest challenge for him right.
Frank Warren spells out the business side. Usyk holds the belts, and mandatories must be met. Joseph Parker, as the WBO's top contender, is first in line, and negotiations are already in motion. Warren even hints at staging the fight in the UK, which would elevate the spectacle into a global event. But beneath the promotional optimism lies a harder truth. From an analyst's perspective, mandatories are obligations, not fears. Usyk has dealt with mandatories before, dispatching them with precision and composure. Parker will be no different if he approaches without a drastic tactical plan. Yes, the opportunity is there, and Warren paints it as Parker's golden ticket, but opportunities don't win fights. Performances do. Historically, Usyk has thrived in high-pressure environments, whether on hostile soil or under the brightest lights. The UK stage would energize fans, but it won't rattle a man who's already conquered multiple divisions away from home. Parker gets his shot, but the question is whether he can turn contractual obligation into competitive reality, a leap very few have managed against Usyk.
Before the fight, we now know who holds the belts, who's the number one, and he's going to have to make his mandatories now. And his first mandatory is the WBO against Joe Parker. So Joe Parker will get his opportunity. That's BO basically said we've got to start negotiating with each other, and that's what we're doing. I'd love to put the fight on.
And then Roy Jones Jr. delivers his verdict on Parker's style and why he believes it makes this matchup so intriguing. Roy Jones Jr. takes a bold stance by calling Joseph Parker the best guy right now for Usyk to face. His reasoning is tactical. Parker isn't a lumbering heavyweight. He has speed, combinations, and Andy Lee in his corner. Jones points out that Parker looks more comfortable than ever, which makes him dangerous. But as strong as that sounds, the analyst breakdown exposes both sides. Parker's speed and combinations may give him moments, but moments aren't enough against Usyk. The Ukrainian thrives on adjustments, neutralizing rhythm and punishing patterns. Comfort is valuable, but Usyk forces discomfort on every opponent, breaking their structure, forcing errors, and dictating pace. Jones is right that this fight is compelling, but compelling doesn't mean balanced. For Parker, this bout represents his sharpest version, but the sharpest blade still struggles to cut diamond. If Parker can sustain relentless output, it becomes interesting. If not, it becomes another reminder that Usyk dismantles hope with skill.
The best guy right now is Joseph Parker. Why? Because he's not a big heavyweight. He's quick, he throws combinations. He has a great trainer with him now in Andy Lee, and he's more comfortable than I've ever seen him in his whole career. And so I think that is actually a very good fight for both fighters, and this is the very best time for it because Joseph Parker is on the uprise right now.
When the dust settles, this clash isn't just about belts or mandatories, it's about legacy. If Oleksandr Usyk wins, he further cements his reputation as the most complete heavyweight of this era, silencing talk of challengers and reminding the division that levels matter. But if Joseph Parker shocks the world, it rewrites the narrative entirely, the patient contender finally breaking through with the performance of his career. Mentally, Usyk has always thrived under pressure, unflinching in the biggest moments, while Parker's hunger is his greatest weapon, the fuel that could push him beyond expectation. This fight at its core is a battle between proven brilliance and relentless ambition, and that's what makes it so compelling. Now the question is yours. Are you backing Usyk's mastery, or do you believe Parker pulls off the upset? Drop your thoughts in the comments. The debate starts now.